Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because what President Donald J. Trump just did has sent shockwaves through America, and Ilhan Omar has gone dead silent. This is the moment nobody thought would actually happen. Not the media, not the Democrats, not the Minnesota political machine that has been insulating itself for years behind layers of activists, nonprofits, and carefully crafted talking points. But late last night, under the sharp white lights of the White House briefing room, President Trump stepped forward, pulling the pin on a political grenade, and he dropped it straight onto Minnesota's doorstep. Federal investigators have now confirmed what whistleblowers have been shouting into the void for years. Money, your money, taxpayer money, was pumped through these fake nonprofit networks in Minnesota, laundered through shadowy overseas remittance channels, and then siphoned directly into the pockets of al-Shabaab, an al-Qaeda-linked terror faction that is operating in Somalia. And guess whose political orbit sits dead center in the middle of this explosion? Ilhan Omar. That's right, guys. The same Ilhan Omar who spent her entire career calling Trump a racist, painting conservatives as extremists, and lecturing everyday Americans on morality and compassion. Well, today, folks, the spotlight finally turns back on her. And what it reveals is darker, it's deeper, and far more explosive than anyone expected, because President Trump, he didn't just respond. He unleashed the most aggressive crackdown Minnesota has seen in decades. TPS protections revoked, fraud networks exposed, federal audits activated. I mean, a massive criminal dragnet is tightening around the very community Omar claims to represent. Now, here's the craziest part. The media still won't touch the story, but we will. So today we're exposing exactly what investigators uncovered, how Minnesota's welfare pipeline reached all the way to a terrorist organization, why Ilhan Omar has suddenly gone silent, and how Trump's emergency order just flipped the entire political landscape upside down. Guys, this isn't left versus right anymore. This is America versus corruption, America versus fraud, America versus terror. And tonight, President Trump made one thing brutally clear. The cover-ups stop now. Hit the like button and subscribe. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that this country gasped wasn't during a rally, a press leak, or a tweet. It happened at 11:42 p.m. when President Donald J. Trump stepped into the White House briefing room with a folder under his arms and a look that said that the storm had arrived. What he announced was nothing short of historic. Immediate termination of TPS protections for Somali nationals directly tied to flagged remittance hubs, nonprofits under federal investigation, or financial networks now considered high-risk conduits. The room froze. Reporters didn't even shuffle their papers. I mean, because this wasn't symbolic. This wasn't political theater. This was the president of the United States formally declaring that Minnesota had become a national security emergency. And on top of that, the cover-ups end tonight. So here's where the ground finally begins to shake like an earthquake. Federal investigators, after months of sealed warrants, midnight raids, and forensic audits, they confirmed that Minnesota's welfare programs were bled dry through these fake meal counts, phantom children, counterfeit disability claims, and manufactured paperwork across two major networks: Feeding Our Future and Housing Stabilization Services. Over $250 million just vanished. 77 individuals were charged, 56 guilty pleas, and the paper trail, let's just say it didn't end in Minneapolis. Investigators traced the money through informal Somali hawala networks. These are channels that are known for bypassing banks and avoiding detection. And once those dollars hit Somali territory, they entered regions where al-Shabaab forcibly taxes every incoming transactions, meaning American tax dollars, your tax dollars, helped enrich al-Qaeda-linked terror groups. Now, just let that sink in for a second, okay? Every time a fraudster in Minnesota submitted a fake meal count, every time a nonprofit reported children who didn't exist, every time someone pocketed taxpayer cash and shoved it into a remittance office, al-Shabaab got a cut. Not because the fraudsters intentionally supported terrorism, but because Somalia's terror factions control the territory where these transfers land. They tax every wire, every remittance, every dollar crossing into their zones. So while hardworking Americans were struggling to buy groceries in 2021 and 2022, a terror group overseas was getting richer off the theft. Federal analysts put it bluntly: the largest indirect funder of al-Shabaab may now be Minnesota taxpayers. This is how deep it goes, guys. Now, if you spent your whole life taking care of others, isn't it time someone took care of you? This is why I partner with Chapter. They treat your Medicare plan like it matters, because it does. Now, one of our viewers said, for once, I actually felt like someone was on my side. So let me ask you, don't you deserve a team that protects you? Now, most people already found theirs at the phone number at the bottom of the screen right there, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. That phone number again is 909-563-8279. And Carrie Mask, one of our viewers, said Chapter just saved me $3,500 by changing plans. Wow, that is huge. And this here, guys, this is where the political world exploded, because sitting right in the epicenter of the fraud's geography, relationships, and beneficiaries is Ilhan Omar. This is the congresswoman who built her brand attacking Trump, law enforcement, and pretty much anyone who questioned her district's policies. Now, Omar filmed a promotional video at Safari Restaurant. This was a business later implicated in feeding fraud operations. Two individuals tied to the scandal later donated to her campaign. And it gets worse, guys. The bill that she proudly sponsored, the 2020 Meals Act, dramatically expanded the very programs that were exploited in the scam. And while she denies involvement, the optics are devastating. I mean, the fraud happened in her backyard, under her watch, supported by networks aligned with her political coalition. And all of a sudden, she's silent. You gotta wonder, is Ilhan Omar guilty as well? But Ilhan Omar isn't the only one that's sitting in the blast zone. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is facing a political firestorm of his own. Documents show that his administration received repeated warnings as early as 2020, whistleblower reports, audit flags, internal memos detailing massive irregularities inside childcare, housing, and food assistance programs. And what did he do? He didn't do anything. Nothing. No investigations, no shutdowns, no safeguards. Conservatives now argue that this wasn't incompetence. This was collusion through negligence, because every ignored warning let the fraud scale higher, bolder, and even more destructive right up until federal authorities had to intervene. Now, the entire GOP delegation from Minnesota is demanding a federal probe into Walz's inaction. And now with President Trump cracking down, the shield protecting Minnesota's political class is shattering. And make no mistake, the federal response isn't symbolic. The Trump administration has now classified Minnesota as a risk zone for welfare leakage, citing the unprecedented scale of stolen funds and the terror taxation networks that are happening overseas. A federal brief outlines sweeping new oversight over every nonprofit receiving federal dollars in the state. No more blind approvals, no more rubber stamp budgets. Every remittance channel flagged as high risk will face stricter reporting, monitoring, and audit requirements, especially those that are linked to the territories where Al-Shabaab collects revenue. President Trump put it bluntly, no American program will continue if it even indirectly fuels hostile organizations. This isn't just an investigation anymore. This is a national security operation targeting the heart of Minnesota's corrupted system. Now, here's where the political ground really split open. President Trump officially terminated TPS protections for Somali nationals connected directly or indirectly to the fraud network under investigation. This is not a mass sweep. This is targeted, precise, and backed by federal law. The White House cited material support risk, noting that even unintentional financial benefit to a terror-linked region, this qualifies for immediate TPS removal. Roughly 1,000 individuals were flagged for review, and many have already received their formal notices. Trump stressed transparency and legality every step of the way. But the message couldn't be clearer. If your financial networks overlap with corruption or terror-taxed channels, the United States will not grant you protected status. The era of blind leniency is over. And perhaps the most chilling and telling development, Ilhan Omar's silence. I mean, normally she fires back within minutes, statements, tweets, press releases, full-blown counterattacks. But after Trump's announcement, her office issued 2 words: no comment, no outrage, no deflection, no fiery accusations, nothing. Conservative commentators immediately noticed this, calling it the quietest day in Ilhan Omar's political life. Even CNN speculated that her team is in internal crisis mode, scrambling to understand the scope of the federal investigation and how close it gets to her allies, donors, and district networks. Silence in Washington is rarely innocence, let me tell you, okay? This is preparation, this is strategy, this is damage control, and for the first time, Omar seems unsure whether speaking will make things worse or expose things that she just can't afford to answer. Now, here's a data point that really blew federal analysts' minds. Between 2020 and 2023, Somali remittance flows out of Minnesota surged to levels no one could explain. And this is based on the reported incomes of the individuals sending the money. In fact, some senders shoved more overseas transfers than total annual earnings. Now, this is a red flag even for seasoned investigators, okay? Many funds pass through informal clearinghouses, systems designed to avoid traditional banking oversight. And when those dollars hit Somalia, they enter territories where Al-Shabaab controls checkpoints, banks, and financial infrastructure. The surge perfectly mirrors the years that the Minnesota fraud rings were operating at full speed. Analysts are now saying that the correlation is so tight, it's impossible to treat as a coincidence. And so this is where President Trump moved from reaction to doctrine. He called it a zero-tolerance national reset. Now, others called it a political nuke. I mean, you call it what you want. But Trump declared that the United States will no longer operate under what he labeled this post-American politics, a worldview that protects non-citizens more than citizens, funds broken systems, and allows foreign networks to plunder American programs without consequence. So instead, Trump framed this crackdown as the purest form of America First, protecting taxpayers, safeguarding national security, and shutting down any program, even a federal one, if it indirectly aids hostile groups. Now, in his own words, he said, "No enemy of the United States will ever benefit from American generosity again." And with that, the entire political battlefield shifted overnight. But the ripple effect doesn't stop with Ilhan Omar. The spotlight is now turning toward Minnesota's broader Somali political leadership, including rising figures like Omar Fate, the self-described socialist who nearly unseated Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. Now, Fate campaigned as a champion for the same nonprofit networks now under investigation. Several of his closest political allies, they had direct associations with organizations that were caught up in the welfare scandal. Conservative analysts, they are arguing that Omar and Fate represent the political wing of an ecosystem where activists, nonprofits, and local power brokers blurred lines between advocacy and corruption. And now with Trump's crackdown in full force, these figures face questions they never had to answer publicly, questions that could reshape Minnesota politics for a generation. And if you really want to understand how this entire machine operated, look no further than the nonprofits themselves. I mean, what should have been community support organizations somehow morphed into slush funds for fraudsters. Feeding Our Future reported millions of non-existent meals for children who never showed up. Housing Stabilization Services claimed disability cases with no medical verification. Safari Restaurant, later visited by Ilhan Omar in a promotional video, served as a central hub where fraudulent transactions flowed through disguised community programs. Luxury SUVs, overseas condos, designer handbags, all purchased with taxpayer dollars. Some cash was transported physically, stuffed into envelopes, and carried overseas. This wasn't a small scandal. This was a industrialized fraud operation using charity as a camouflage. And so here's why President Trump's actions aren't just legally justified. They're politically explosive in the best possible way for him. So across the nation, voters are furious. Inflation-battered families, groceries skyrocketed, parents struggled to fill their gas tanks to feed their kids. I mean, while criminals in Minnesota siphoned off hundreds of millions that were meant for children, the disabled, and even low-income families, rural voters called it the biggest slap in the face in a decade. Suburban parents say that we're done funding the fraud. Polling now shows overwhelming support, even among independents, for Trump's crackdown. Americans are united on one issue: stop the theft. And Trump is the only one that's taken bold, direct action while the political establishment's looking the other way. So where does this all go from here? Well, according to federal resources, Minnesota is about to enter its most intense political and legal period in decades. More indictments are coming, not dozens, but waves. The DOJ is reviewing every major welfare program in the state. Nonprofits are lawyering up. Auditors are preparing to comb through years of receipts, transfers, and overseas transactions. Individuals with revoked TPS protections will face formal deportation hearings immediately. And both Ilhan Omar and Governor Tim Walz are expected to be called before federal committees to explain how this fraud flourished under his watch. Minnesota isn't just under investigation, it's under construction. And tonight marks only the beginning.